Well, hello everybody. This is Linda from North Central Texas, and I thought I'd come in here and show you what I was talking about with my totes. This is the way the greenhouse held moisture last year because there was a lot of moisture in there. See the condensation built up on the inside there? That's what helps keep those cuttings down there moist. And hopefully they will root. I see now I'm going to have to replace some of these. I replaced all of the other ones from the first go round, but some of these I'm going to have to replace because they're not doing too good. But I'll do that. Yeah, sometimes if you don't get them out at the exact right time, they will turn brown on you. Or if they get too much moisture, they'll do that. But you can see these are, and this other one, are doing pretty well. They're still all green for the most part. And if they start getting too moist, you just have to open the lid a little bit. But I thought I'd show you that. And then there's another way to do it as well. And that's just put your cutting in a pot like that. And get you a Coke or Pepsi bottle, a clear one. Cut the bottom off of it. And just put it right on top of it. And see the condensation built up inside there? That works as a mini greenhouse for you. And you leave the top off because you want it to get some air. But I will replace the some of the cuttings in that one because I didn't replace them the first time, but I did on the other side because they had gotten dried out. But I will replace some of them in that one too, and we'll see what happens with them. But I'll tell you what, the rain we've had for the last day or so has been wonderful. It's still overcast today. Everything is still wet, so nothing's drying out. Still watching those tomatoes right there. Yeah, that biggest one is right down there. Biggest tomato I've had on any of these for this time of year so far. But I've also been, I had to check my planters over there. Because when you get your planters level and you get them set up, if you didn't measure your places for your holes, they may not drain properly. So what I had to do is come out here and lower. You can see where the first hole was up there. I put another one down here lower because it wasn't draining good. Well, it was draining all on the other side because the hole was lower, but it was not draining over on this left-hand side. So I was out here fixing the holes in that a while ago. So you might have to do that after you get your totes set up. Because sometimes if you don't get them exactly level or sitting just right, they're not going to drain properly. And see, I got another eggplant on this one. Just trying to put out more too. So as cool as it's been getting, we've not got down to freezing yet, or frost. So, and one of these days I'll get on there and show you how I made these. I just took the lid of the totes that I don't use the lids of, and I cut strips, and actually I made a band around so it would sit over the top of the bucket snugly, and then just put it down on there. And then I, of course, made the strips to go up here crossed them at the top, gathered my tool, because it was pretty much the right length or width, if you cut it the right length, to go down from the top to the bottom. And I needed a stapler, but I didn't have a stapler, so I just put Gorilla Glue on, not Gorilla Glue, but Gorilla Tape, same as duct tape. That's what I used on it until I can get a stapler, because that'll hold up for a while until I can get a stapler, and then I can go around it and staple it. But if you need to cover some of your plants with tulle or something like that, you know, to keep the bugs off of them until the plants get a chance to establish, that's a great way to do it, because none of those things can fly by and lay eggs on the leaves or anything like that when you got that tulle on there. And when it rains, you know, of course, the rain can go through as well. So, I mean, I could have trimmed it down a little bit more, but hey, what's a couple of inches, you know? You can buy that tulle by like 40 or 50 yard rolls for like $10 or something. And I started, I drilled holes in this other bucket, and I started putting broken down tree limbs and rotted wood and some cardboard in there. I can always put scraps and stuff like that in it later, but I thought since I had this cardboard that I'd go ahead and put it in there, because it's all wet. And I didn't bring the camera stand out here with me. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. But I wanted to get on there and show you that. Because this is the time of year that all the dead stuff is falling out of the trees. I mean, you can see I've got limbs and all kind of stuff falling in my yard right now. So it's a great time. Oh, there's my little friend. Yeah, there he is. He must have heard me out here and he come to see. Did you come to visit? Yeah, you came to visit. He reminds me of the cat that I had years ago that passed away. Crybaby, CB. Because he was an orange tabby. But anyway, I just thought I'd get out here and give you an update on my rose cutting. Some of them don't look too good. But like I said, I can always cut more clippings and put them in there and see what happens. If they stay too wet, they'll rot. If they don't stay moist enough, they dry out and they won't root. So you have to keep an eye on them. Oh, you're so friendly today. You just rubbing up all on my legs. Yes, you are. He knows he's in the video. Yeah, he knows he's in the video. He knows he's in the video. Pretty white nose. He's got a pretty white nose. But yeah, I didn't think we were going to get any more rain, but see, little pieces like this, just pieces of twigs that fall out of the trees that's already half rotted, or already basically rotted. That is the perfect thing to just pick up and throw in your bucket. And when you rake and you get all these rotten down twigs and leaves, throw them in your bucket. Go ahead and get those buckets ready now. Start putting food scraps in them. That way they'll break down and they'll give you some good compost for when you get ready to plant in the spring. See, that's a lot of good cardboard right there that I can use. And that was just from that broken down box that was back there that I used as a planter. It worked pretty good for a while, but you know, cardboard's not going to last forever, especially after it gets wet a few times. And when you're watering stuff in it, it doesn't hold up very well. But yeah. But everything is green, pretty and green. Nothing's frozen yet because we Like I said, we haven't gotten down to freezing temperatures yet. I think the coldest we got was about 36 degrees one night, or maybe possibly 2 nights. But I noticed I've got radishes about ready to pick or pull. Got a couple of them down in there. Some over here. I'm going to wait till they get a little bigger before I start pulling them. But yeah, you can grow stuff like radishes in your dish pans because they don't need that deep a pot to be planted in. And there is my Swiss chard. It's doing pretty good. But y'all to know, I got a couple of tomato plants coming up in the compost that was in the pot. I mean, that is going to happen regardless. Now, if it was the spring of the year, I'd be pulling those out and putting them in a pot of their own. But it's kind of pointless this late in the season because we're going to get a freeze pretty soon, and the tomato plants are not going to survive a freeze. But so far, they are still putting out green tomatoes. And I've got a tomato plant that broke off. I guess it was all that wind we had. Because we got some pretty heavy wind in this rain that we got. Still checking on my peppers over here. I've got, it's like 3. I can't get to it. Got a pepper there. And I got 2 back there. I've been watching, just waiting for them to get big enough to where I can pick them. But yeah, I hope some more of my tomatoes will get right before we get our first freeze that's coming up. That was going to be a double tomato right there. Look at that. I've never seen that do that. That and my twin eggplant are 2 unusual things I've never seen before. You see, I picked all those peppers and I've still got peppers coming. That's one reason I haven't put my canner up. Because I said I might do another couple of jars of cowboy candy or chow chow or something. My poor basil, I stripped it the other day. I come out here and I made some spaghetti sauce and stripped the plant. It hasn't survived from me stripping it yet. But yeah, go ahead and see, look at the peppers. Peppers just keep on coming. Go ahead and get your totes and your buckets or your big pots, whatever you're going to plant in the springtime, and build your soil in them. Get all that broken down trees and twigs and see stuff like this that falls out of your trees. If you've got old oak trees in your yard like I do. That's one thing I've got plenty of is oak trees. So I always have plenty of stuff falling in my yard. But all of this is just fantastic to put in your pots and your buckets. Just break it up and put it down in there. Fill up the bottom with that and some cardboard and newspapers or whatever you got like that, paper-wise. Leaves. Put your table scraps in there. I'd put at least a couple of inches of table scraps and then cover it over with either leaves or a little bit of your native soil. So, you know, it actually helps it break down when you cover it with dirt. But you can see how much I had in my other buckets over there. I'm going to put a little bit more in there, and then I'm going to cover it with dirt, and then I'm going to start adding to this other tote that I've got, or bucket that I've started working on. I was picking banana peppers this morning. I picked every one of them the other day because they were getting so heavy on the bush, they were weighting the bush down. See? And I know I could probably leave them on there till they got bigger than that, but I didn't. But I just wanted to get on here real quick and tell you that. Just go ahead and get your buckets, get your totes. If you're going to plant anything in the spring, go ahead and start building your totes and your buckets now with your composting in place. And by the springtime, by around the 1st of March, second week in March, those buckets are going to be ready to plant in. And if you're going to plant seeds, if you have some native soil that's good to plant seeds in, just put that in the top. If not, just go buy you a cheap bag of potting soil or in-ground soil and put a couple of inches in the top of your buckets or your totes to plant your seeds in. And I think you're going to be surprised with the results, because you're not going to be able to find better garden soil than you can make with the rotted down tree bark, tree branches, leaves, cardboard, newspapers, table scraps, stuff like that. That is the best soil you can make to plant anything in for the spring. And with that, I am going to bid you a good day. I have got a lot to do. So please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and y'all have a blessed day.